over me. Run through the land, you run through my soul. Bring me wisdom and peace. Run through all ages and all of life's stages. You bring me around to find my release.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome back to Be My Guest. We reopened very brief times, brief interviews, but that's okay. And preferably when the COVID is not such a threat, we'll be filming more shows. But this is great. We have today Christine Beauchaine back with us, and she is an author, and she lives in Whitensville or Northbridge?
Whitensville.
She's right in Whitensville, my old stomping ground.
There you go.
And she has written a unique book called A Princess Called Larry. At first I thought, what? Did you design the cover?
No, one of my very good friends did. She's an artist.
Now this is a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantasy. But you know, I wouldn't say it was just for young adults. I would say it's for anyone, right?
Yeah, it's humorous. So if you like humor, it would probably amuse you, and you'd probably enjoy it.
When did this come out?
I just published it. Let's see. I want to say November.
In November.
In November.
How long were you writing it?
About a year and a half.
Now I don't remember that other book. You had another book on the show. What was that one?
I've written 4, and then I've got a couple that are in process.
In between. I think I met you at Whitensville Library.
You did, yeah.
Oh,
we talked about the first book, which was Lost and Found at the Bolodrome.
Yes.
And then we also talked about Winds of Providence, I think.
Yep.
Or Alice in Forever,
Oh,
one of those.
Seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
It does.
Is the Whitensville Library open at all?
I think they had to reclose. They did open for a brief period, and then I think they closed down again.
You can still pick up books, though, but they're outside.
Right,
yeah.
Curbside delivery.
Well, Christine Beauchaine has written, as I said, the book called A Princess Called Larry. Right off the bat, why is she called Larry?
She's called Larry because her name is Laurencina.
Laurencina.
And she doesn't like it. She doesn't like any part of being a princess. She wants to do her own thing. And so Larry is kind of part of doing her own
That's
thing.
her own thing.
Absolutely.
I read that your mom said it would be just like you to create that. Larry.
she said there was a lot of me in Larry.
Now, are you the only child?
I'm not. I have a younger brother. He's 6 years younger than me.
Okay. All right. Now, this is your 4th novel. We just talked about that. Also, this young lady is an artist, and you're looking to retirement too?
Not me. No, that was the girl who did the cover. She hopes to turn art into her retirement plan.
Oh, okay. All righty.
So
does she do the paintings and crocheting crafts, or do you?
That's her.
That's
right.
her.
I do paint though, and I photograph and.
And you also work for a newspaper.
I do. I'm a freelance reporter for the New Uxbridge Times. I teach yoga.
Yeah. I think you began that a few years ago.
Yep. Yeah.
Where do you teach?
I teach at the Methodist Church in Whitensville, and I also teach at Soulshine Yoga in Chepachet, Rhode Island.
Now, how do you arrange it if the person comes in the church? Do you sit like really far apart?
Right now our church is closed down at least until the end of January. We have enough space, we can social distance, we can do masks, and that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
We closed down like everything else for a while.
Yeah. There's a wonderful woman who goes to the Methodist Church. She used to be very active with the Council of Churches in Whitensville. I can't think of her name. She was
Carolyn Mitchell?
Carolyn Mitchell. Is she still with?
She has moved to Virginia to be closer to her children. Her husband passed away, and she moved to Virginia to be closer to her kids.
I remember Carolyn. Tributes to you. She was one of the kindest people I've ever met.
Absolutely.
I think when
She's
I
a
had my
wonderful
son
lady.
go to that, was it the Whiten summer camp? Or near the church summer camp, was the Congo church.
Yeah.
She was very patient with him.
She was very patient with everyone. She was amazing.
Yeah, she really was. Now, the local newspaper is a New Uxbridge Times.
Yes.
And you're a journalist, you freelance going into that.
Yeah.
How did you get that?
I answered an ad. They were looking for a freelance reporter. I had years and years ago worked as a summer intern for the Tribune.
Yeah.
And so I answered an ad, and it's a monthly paper, and I do about an article every month.
Where do you find it, though? I live out here near Whitensville, Upton, but how do you get that expertise?
They mail it out for free to Uxbridge, Northbridge, and Douglas.
Okay.
I don't know if they put it out other places.
The Blackstone Valley Express, they make it up to Shaw's in Whitensville.
Yep.
I've got to get that. I wonder what other stores they would have it, because I want to read some of your articles. Now we're going to get back to A Princess Called Larry. I wrote down some of the characters. All right. We know that the princess's name is Laurencina. How did you come up with that?
I don't know. It just came into my head. I wanted to call her something offbeat and odd, and I thought that Larry's a good nickname for Lawrence, and so I called her Laurencina, and there she is. She's Larry.
How old is she supposed to be in this, do you think?
She is 15.
50?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
She aged quickly.
Yeah, no, she's 15.
Now, we have, I know who it is, but tell the readers, well, before we do that, briefly what the book is about.
Okay, so it's a humor fantasy novel, and I hate this narrative that we're telling girls that if you're nice enough and pretty enough, someone will come rescue you.
Yeah.
You need to be your own hero. You need to step up and rescue yourself. And so that's a lot of why I wrote the book.
That's why you wrote it. Oh my God. Now, you have another book coming up pretty soon?
Yeah, I'm working on one about the Halifax Explosion of 1917.
In Halifax, Nova Scotia?
Yes.
That's where my grandfather's from.
Oh, interesting. Okay. During the First World War, 2 ships collided in the harbor, and one had 5 tons of munitions on board. So there was a huge explosion, damaged every single building in the city of Halifax. There was water displacement, and then that night they had a blizzard.
What year was it?
This 1917.
Okay, he graduated from Clark. Obviously, he wasn't there in 1908. So they had left by that time.
Every year, Boston gets a Christmas tree from the province of Nova Scotia, and that's why, because Massachusetts was one of the first places to send help.
Really?
Yep.
1914.
17.
1917.
Yep.
I don't know why. Sometimes I wonder why grandparents don't tell you all of the histories that have gone on. I've got quite a bit, but I don't remember Grandpa saying anything about that. All right, now we have Cheeves, the butler, and he does not like being her nursemaid.
No. She's got absentee parents who kind of go off to do whatever.
Yeah.
They don't pay much attention to her or her cousin. And so by default, this butler has become sort of her nursemaid, and he's not happy about it.
I kind of picture him. There's a series of books, Mr. Poe, the series of unfortunate events. I picture Cheeves as a tall and very long nose and straight lace. It's right in. Cousin Princess Alana or Elaine, A-E?
A, yep.
A.
Larry calls her A. Yep.
And is her name Alana or Eileen?
Alana Elena.
Alana Elena.
And so Larry shortened it to A. A-E.
Now, Buzz is pet Vulaher. What's that?
He's a turkey vulture.
Yeah.
So some girls have cats or dogs. Some girls have horses. Larry's got to be different because she's Larry, and she marches to the beat of her own drummer and does her own thing. And so she has a turkey vulture, and he talks. Although he doesn't talk to anyone initially other than Larry, so nobody quite believes her that he talks.
And his name is accordingly Buzz. Now, when you were thinking of all these names, were you just having fun, or they just come to you, or what?
I was just having fun. I had a really good time mixing my mythologies with this book, because there's a Minotaur, there's a Kraken, there is a Loch Ness Monster.
I like that, yeah. I don't, do you believe in the Loch in Nessie?
I do, actually.
Something's got to be there.
I think it's entirely possible.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, my parents visited Scotland. I don't think they went near the Loch, but that would be the first place I'd want to go.
Me too.
But what are the odds you're going to see him?
Yeah, I don't know. That's on my bucket list, though, a trip to Scotland.
Are you Scottish?
I'm not. Not that I'm aware of,
Yeah.
but something about that place calls to me. I
They
don't
got
know
a lot
why.
of castles there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now the back of her book, here's the front of it again. A Princess Called Larry. Beautiful picture of you in the back.
Thank you.
It was taken in the summer, I think.
It was.
Princess Laurencina, or Larry, as she's chosen to call herself, hates being a princess. She wants to do her own thing, and it doesn't involve other people's expectations. Her parents are often away at seminars. About wyvern breeding and moat maintenance. That would be for the castle, right? The moat?
Right.
And what's wyvern breeding?
Wyverns are like dragons.
Okay. Is that who's supposed to be on the front?
No, that's the Minotaur.
Okay.
And the Turkey Vulture and Nixie Flame, who's a phoenix.
Okay. All right. Now, her butler, we just talked about Jeeves, her butler turned guardian is at his wit's end. Larry's cousin A is engaged to Mason, and A is pretty sure Mason is in some sort of trouble. But it goes on, and you're going to find out about the Loch Ness Monster, the Minotaur, what is a kraken?
A kraken is like a giant squid.
Is he? He's not on the front.
He's not on the cover, no. He didn't make the cover.
Did Jennifer Peterson create the covers on your other ones?
No, I've had a different artist every single time.
Yeah.
But I asked her to do this one. She and I have been friends since like 9th grade. So it's about the age that Larry and A are in the book.
Have you had, I know with the COVID, I told my authors get out there, and have you had trouble when March hit? Had you had places scheduled to appear?
I didn't, because I didn't actually finish the book till this November. So.
Yeah, so you were.
But I haven't done much since November between the holidays and the COVID and the.
Yeah. Have you been around? Have you been up to a Book Lovers Gourmet in Webster?
I have not.
Love it. How about Tatnuk?
I haven't been to Titanic either.
Get you out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the places, I tell the authors, I say, look, contact them, whatever, let them know you're around, so that when they reopen, you're going to be one of the first on the list if they get scheduled.
Oh, that's good advice.
Cafes, gosh, you haven't been to the Sutton, what's it called? It's a fantastic, children, young adults.
Oh, Enchanted Passage.
Yes.
Yes, they're wonderful.
Have you been there?
I worked there for a little while.
You did?
But it was a 4th job, and I couldn't manage 4 jobs. So
It's the Dragon.
they're wonderful.
Yeah. Are they open right now?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay, because I like them a lot.
They're fabulous.
She was on the show. I think it was the younger one,
Kim.
And I think her mother helps out.
She does. Yeah.
And then she has a little boy.
Little girl. Yeah.
This it's called what was it again?
Enchanted Passage.
We're giving you a plug. The Enchanted Passage.
It's in Sutton on Armsby Road, and they're fabulous. It's a wonderful bookstore.
It used to be, well, one of its incarnations was a boys' school or boys with behavior issues lived in there.
Yes, at one point it was. They say that the building is haunted.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know. I don't have any personal experience with it, but it might be.
Oh, I'd love to go see that. Oh my! But you go in there, and there's so many little in this house, nooks and crannies, and they have a little cafe.
Yeah.
Right? Now, what was your favorite part of it? I mean, your book fits right. You have a book over there, don't you?
I don't yet. I need to get on that. And
she does
that
have
out.
social, author events.
She's wonderful with local authors. She's fabulous.
I went to one in summertime. And the authors were all outside.
Yeah, I did one of those.
I wonder if you were there when I went. I don't
Could
remember.
be. I don't know.
If you had been there, this hadn't come out yet.
No, that was a long time before this
What
came
was that
out.
other book the first book you wrote? I remember having you on. What was the name
The
of it?
first one I wrote was Lost and Found of the Bullodrome. Took place in the very early 1960s.
Yeah.
Sort of a coming-of-age story about a young woman who discovers what she wants out of life.
Yeah. This seems to be a good theme in your books.
Well,
Really.
I said that I like heroines or heroes who learn about themselves through the course of the novel. And so in the first book, she discovered herself. In the second book, she rediscovered herself.
Yeah.
The third one I wrote, she hid herself. She had anxieties and didn't want anyone to see them. And in this one, she just is herself. Larry just is
Christine,
herself.
Here's your camera right there. Let everybody know how they can reach you or get a copy of your book.
Okay. It's on Amazon. So if you plug in either my name, Christine Beauchaine, or A Princess Called Larry, you can find it on Amazon.
Okay. And if somebody wanted to, in the future, wanted to have you scheduled to appear where they are,
You can get in touch with me. My email address is Edelyn, EGALYNNE, @hotmail.com.
now that's really cool. Are you going to keep this this premise going, which is so cool. The girl can become what she wants.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know if they'll... I think there may be more adventures. Larry may go off and
You think
have
you're
some
gonna
more
keep going with this?
adventers. That's possible.
Have you ever, like last week over at Southwick Zoo, don't they have a buzzard?
They might. I'm not sure.
No, either, because we've had the head of the zoo on before, and she never brought a vulture. She brought a parrot, and there was a turtle, a parrot, and what's that little armadillo? I think she had an armadillo. Can't think of her name. Sorry, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a vulture. But have you ever gone and seen one anywhere else to get an idea of it?
When we did the cover, I sat with her while she drew it, and we Googled them. We pulled up a lot of pictures, and I said, "Oh yeah, look, that's one. I like this. Look at that."
Yeah.
I had seen them in some kind of a conservation area. It wasn't a zoo, but they had one when my son was little. We had gone to some,
Yeah.
and they're very odd looking. They're very odd looking bird.
Are. Now, an owl to me looks just, kind of serious and thoughtful. This guy looks like, hey, baby. I mean, I'm ugly, but hey, baby.
Exactly.
That's a buzzard.
Exactly.
Now, are you going to carry these characters into the next book?
It's possible. The next one I'm working on is going to be the Halifax Explosion, but
Yeah,
Larry may
that's
go on to have more adventures. I don't know.
When do you think that book will be out, your new?
I'm hoping by the end of this year.
Okay. Oh, we just began it.
I know.
Oh, okay, you're going to have to wait. What process are you in right now? The beginnings of it?
I've done a lot of research. I started it for National Novel Writing Month, but I only got about 7,000 words in, and I haven't even gotten to the explosion yet. So,
how did you get interested in that?
I've always been interested in disasters for some reason.
Yeah.
I got a book out of the library when I was about 12 about the Titanic, and I took it out and I read it and read it, and I had it out of the library probably 25 times.
Gosh.
Just interested in disasters.
Did you ever see the movie?
The Titanic?
Yeah. That was really troubling to me. No, wait a minute. That was troubling, but what really got me, I saw it in the movie theater, was the Hindenburg. Oh my God. That was, the big...
Yep, the blimp, yep.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be on a cruise. And I definitely don't like to fly. Do you mind flying?
I don't mind flying. I don't have much opportunity to do it, but I don't mind it.
I don't either. So, all right, so it's going to be titled the...
It's tentatively titled, it's got a working title of Everywhere Damage.
Everywhere Damage. And it's going to be centered on it. And are you going to make names to make it more like historical fiction?
Absolutely. The main character there is actually studying to be a doctor. There were women doctors in that era in Canada. There weren't many.
No.
But everything I looked at, I had to go ask 10 more questions. Oh, now I need to look at women's suffrage in Halifax and this, and now I need to go look at this and that. So it's there's a lot going on there, and I want to do it justice.
Yeah.
So
I bet you they have a museum of Halifax history or whatever up there.
they do. There's actually a Halifax Titanic connection, which is
Really?
interesting. After the Titanic sank, Halifax sent recovery ships to recover bodies, and about 100 bodies from the Titanic are buried in Halifax.
But where did the Titanic go down?
It sank off the coast of Newfoundland.
Oh, no wonder Nova Scotia.
So Newfoundland actually was geographically closer, but Halifax was better equipped. They had more undertakers, they had more resources to do it. So they were the people who they sent, I believe it was 4 or 5 different ships.
I can picture that. I would imagine just about every town, everywhere, has a historical society. And up at Halifax, I'll bet they do too. Have you connected with anybody up there yet?
I spoke with a gentleman at Dalhousie University, which is where my main character is going to go, just to kind of get a feel for what life was like at the university during the time of the explosion.
That's a good thing to do.
And I would like to take a trip there and just get a sense of the place.
Yeah, is there a museum up there at all?
There's several actually.
So you could actually take a tour, go through, take pictures with your
Yeah.
camera.
Exactly.
That's an excellent way. A lot of people don't bother to go in person to research it, but if you could go
Yeah, when I wrote Winds of Providence about the Hurricane of '38, I walked around on Napatree Point in Rhode Island. I picked up rocks. I just to get a feel for what it was like. Yeah.
What did you make of the disappearance of the Malaysian airline? What do you think about what really happened there? Obviously, it crashed.
Right.
What happened? you think?
It's astonishing to me that we still have uncharted ocean.
Yeah.
Because they kept saying, it's in uncharted waters,
Yeah.
and that we are this far along, we've made so much progress, and that there's parts of our planet we haven't looked at.
You think the pilot or both knew that they were heading? Somebody knew they did that turnaround.
Yeah.
They knew.
Yeah, my husband watched some show about it, and they said that he was severely depressed, the pilot, and he'd done a lot of flight simulator.
Yeah, right at home.
And he always finished them, but this one he didn't finish. And they thought that was maybe suspicious.
Okay, didn't finish it. In other words, he didn't actually get to a location and stop or do a round trip.
Right. He only went part way through the simulation.
It's like the bombers in 9/11. They had one-way tickets.
Yep.
I hope now that, the people that work in these airlines are they see someone's ticket, so you're going one way. Doesn't always mean, but
Right.
why are you going?
Yeah.
who are you going to see? So, okay, we're talking with Christine Beauchaine, and she is local. She wrote A Princess Called Larry. And again, how can they reach you, Chris?
My email address is Edalyn, EDALYNNE @hotmail.com. I live right in Whitensville. I am local, and the book is available on Amazon, and my other 3 novels are available there as well.
They're on Amazon as well.
Yeah.
Now, the new one won't be out till the end of next year.
And that's an optimistic projection. We'll see how that goes.
Well, you're busy too because you're working. What are you doing at the corporation that you work at?
I don't actually work at a corporation anymore, so
okay.
I'm teaching yoga, and I'm a freelance reporter.
Yeah.
I'm working actually on launching a business, a life coaching, helping people through grief and loss.
I think when we first met, you were thinking
I had
that.
just gotten a life coaching certification the first time we chatted,
yeah.
and I haven't really done much with it.
Oh, you'd be great.
But I think helping people through grief and loss would be my niche.
Would you be writing a book? I have a friend she's been on the show. She doesn't live around here, but she is a life coach. She turned into one after she wrote books about small things in life that matter and helping people get through things. I even sent her over to senior centers.
Yeah, I would like to at some point write a memoir about
Yeah.
things, and of course going through. We believe my husband has dementia, and so going through that, there's some grief and loss. I'd like to help other caregivers because caregiving
Big
can
time.
be very lonely.
My father died. Basically, he just burned out. Being my mother's caretaker.
Caregivers frequently die before the people they're caring for
Over a year
because they
before,
don't
yeah.
take care of themselves.
No, he was going down with a ship, and he did. He went over a year before she did.
Yeah, many caregivers do. It's sad. And I don't think we support caregivers. We're not really giving them the support that they need.
Kind of hold up an alone feeling and this type of thing. I think things are starting to show up like support. I think at Milford Hospital, is there a group for caretakers support?
Oh, there might be.
There might be. That would be good. But I'm going to get back to this. You would be excellent
Thank you.
as a coach because you've been through a lot. And you're going through this in your own family. Is your husband working at all?
He's working part-time from home,
From home.
doing some fundraising.
Do you have kids?
We do. We have 2 grown-up boys. They're 21 and 24.
My son's 28. I don't believe this. I thought you were about 29 or 30.
Well, that's awesome.
I thought you were a kid. When I met you in Whitensville, you were like a kid in the library.
I actually will be 52 next month.
Whatever you're doing, keep it up. Honestly, God, you look so much. Oh, wow. So your kids are millennials. They're in their 20s.
They are.
What are they up to?
The oldest one is still living at home.
Yeah.
And we actually have a duplex, and so the youngest one lives next door.
Oh, that's
And
pretty cool.
He comes over and says, "Hey, neighbor," and borrows coffee and eats food and asks how to cook things. And
21 and 22.
21 and 24.
21, 24. Do they know what they want to do yet?
They don't. They don't. They're working.
Join the club. Well,
But-
isn't even working right now. I don't think he doesn't know where he wants to go.
No. No.
I don't know. Did you see any of the talents in them that you have with the writing and all?
I think they could do anything they wanted if they put their minds to it. But I'm
Yeah.
not sure that they know what those things are.
When you
yet.
do your journalism, Christine, for the New Uxbridge Times,
New Oxford Times.
what do you like to focus on? For the
Usually my editor gives me a story. She says, "Okay, this is happening. I'd like you to go cover it." Sometimes she'll say, "Have you heard of anything that's going on?"
Yeah.
So I kind of stalk the town Facebook pages to see what's happening, maybe.
Yeah.
But probably 75% of the time, she has an idea of what story she'd like to see.
Yeah, I would think you could get the step up from her. The town hall and the senior centers would already have their own agendas out.
Right, and we do print a lot of that.
Yeah,
The senior center and the things from the libraries,
Yep.
and absolutely.
that's a good library. Did they make it bigger yet? Or no?
Whitensville?
No, Uxbridge.
No, they're still working on it, I believe.
That's an old building.
It is an old building.
It looks like it had a moat. It wasn't a moat. because
Exactly.
It's got those sides on it. So it's a very nice library inside.
Yes,
I
it
like
is.
it.
But small, though.
Yeah. Now, so your book, A Princess Called Larry. Where would you like to appear coming up? Where do you think you might try to be appearing next?
Honestly, I hadn't given it much thought.
You got to get it out there.
I do. You're right. I'm not great at the self-promotion piece. I'm learning. I'm
Yeah.
learning a ton.
Yeah.
And I'm getting better at it.
And if you were to write a self-promoting, a coaching book, what do you think you would start with? Because you've got that great essence about a girl doing what she wants to do. Okay. How would you be transforming that for adults reading it, maybe?
Absolutely, I think so. My mantra for this coming year is do the work. You just have to do the work. And it's true whether it's putting my book out there or anything that I'm trying to do. I have to really, and I think the obstacles that we toss in front of ourselves are way worse than anything life throws at us. And so as a life coach, I would tell that to people. We have limiting beliefs and we get in our own way
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
There's a lot of great opportunity. I was her publicist, the gal that I told you about. She's still out there, and a lot of opportunity to appear at senior centers, libraries, bookstores. People of all ages, adults, maybe young adults, way up into, people in their 90s. They want these kind of books. It's popular. I would definitely promote that too.
That's
You're busy. Let's see, your day consists of what? You're a writer?
Writer, yeah, and freelance reporting, and I teach, not during pandemic, I teach 3 yoga classes a week. I am a nanny part-time. I work 2
You're
days a
still
week as a
doing it.
nanny.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. And I paint and I do photography, and
That's
I'm
all
working
right.
on this life coaching business. I have an Etsy store.
You've got one online.
I do.
What do
yeah.
you sell on?
Vintage kitchenware, Corningware and Pyrex and that sort of thing is amazingly popular. It astonished me.
Wow.
So that's kind of
really
fun.
On Etsy, what's the deal? Do you have to declare taxes? Do you have to tell them who you are? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, you have to provide your social security number. They send you paperwork at the end of the year if you sell over $600
Oh,
worth
okay. I
of
thought
stuff.
it was like if you will sell something for 10, you got to get taxed.
You've got to pay sales tax for the state of Massachusetts.
Huh. No wonder people go up to New Hampshire. There isn't a tax up there, is there?
I don't believe so. Not a sales tax.
Is there a tax on your income?
That I'm not sure of.
Oh, I don't know.
I know there's no sales tax.
You've got a lot ahead of you. You've got the Halifax story,
Mhm.
that tragedy. You're thinking you'd like to go to Scotland. I wouldn't advise getting in a plane right now.
Not right now, no.
Oh, we're going to wrap it up. Okay, we've been talking with Christine Beauchaine. You're quite the entrepreneur. I relate to this girl so much. And it's a princess called Larry, and it's fantasy. Would you say the age group is what?
It's a young adult and up.
Yeah.
Like Harry Potter is technically a young adult book, but
Yeah.
lots of adults have read it and really loved it, myself included. So it's a funny book. If you need a laugh,
Yeah.
this is a good place to start.
Very, very good. And then she's got one coming up in about a year from now, the end of this year, about the tragedy in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yes.
That was that what was that, the flood, or what was that one?
It was an explosion,
Okay.
which created water displacement, and then they had a blizzard on top of that.
My grandfather never told me about that. Thank you, Chris. We're going to have her back on, definitely.
Awesome.
You're a busy girl. We'll see you next time and be my guest.
Thank you.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems. Moving through the cloudless sky, heading out toward the moon. I am dancing to the lunar tune. Life goes by so quickly,